inside Dawn Dusk and say, yeah, here's our textures. Here's these 6 images. And a skybox puts it all together inside one kind of material that we can paint on the external piece. So there's 2 ways to do that. One is to do it based on the camera. The camera, we can add a skybox component to our camera. Our cameras before, we saw they had clipping planes, field of view. We can have a skybox component, and then let's drag on the Dawn Dusk skybox. Let's make this bigger. Skybox gets painted. Wherever we are in this world, those really far away pieces are now painted in those 6 spots. It's going to be better to make it a little sunnier because of our projection screen here. But sunny 2. Oh, I did it while I was playing again. Sunny 2 skybox. Boxes live inside clouds. Very nice. Questions about skyboxes? If you want to paint them yourself, you can. Most commonly, you use the standard ones or find somebody else to paint them for you. Yeah?
Does the appearance of a skybox change if you use like a light in your scene?
The light will not affect the skybox. The skybox is theoretically like infinitely far away. The light that you shine will not change the clouds in the sky, and it's that approximation. There is no surface and 3D mesh up here that can react to that. It's just a picture. As if you're living in this world, but somebody painted the ceiling of this room to look like the sky. You could probably tell, but maybe not in a game, that the ceiling of this room was a sky. If you didn't move for half an hour, you might get a little nervous. But that happens inside the game. Yes, other question.
Multiple skyboxes?
You can have multiple skyboxes because you could have multiple cameras. Individual cameras can have different skyboxes themselves, but I don't know if you could have multiple skyboxes on one camera. We're going to throw in new cameras here in a second. But
You brought in Destiny, and if you like get out of those games, like you could go through layers of skyboxes, it seems, until you almost are in space, like all the clouds are gone and there's a dark sky.
I don't think Unity lets you do that. You would have to start programming your own game physics engine to make that work.
It takes a long time, though.
Yes. Okay. That is skyboxes. Other things you can change in the environment. The other way to change, let's remove this, the render settings. If you go to the render settings for your scene, you can change a lot of pieces. You don't have to add the skybox to the camera. You could just say, my scene has a skybox, and you can drop it in here. Let's drop in, whoa, oh, where did it go? Edit, render settings. Drop in my skybox there. So it shows up in your scene view. It's part of the scene now, instead of something that happens based on the camera. Oh, and it was playing, wasn't it? As usual. Okay. Other things you can do. You can add fog as part of the scene. Fog is something that's going to happen to say if things are close or far away, they could get more and more fuzzy. You can change the color of the fog. So if you have things that are really far away in your scene, they could look shadowed as if they are colored differently because of the sun. This is one of those options that can show up. There's lots of different ways that fog can show up. Either linear fog, exponential squared fog, and it just depends on how does it react from where the camera is. What is the mathematical function that controls the fog ramp up? So we can see that. Here's my objects, but if I make the fog density really high, then these objects are gray. And we could move them at different points and they would change to different colors without doing anything on our end. It would just be part of the rendering of the engine to change the fog back and forth. Okay, let's turn the fog off. So those are a couple things you can do with the environment of where you are. I want you to play with Skyboxes. We saw a directional light last time, and we saw a light attached to an object, but there's more lights. There's more ways that you can put a light in there. Let's add some new lights. You can add a point light. So it's not part of an object, but it's just this light, as if there's a light bulb sitting there inside your world, shining light from wherever it is out in a certain direction. So camera's over there, put the light up there. It's still way back there. Over there. There we go. So I can move that light around and change things. And I can move that light around. Whoa. Yeah. Move that light around however we want. We can control that light just like it was, say, a directional light. And it was exactly parallel from the sky as if it was the sun. But the point light lets it be from a certain area. Change the color, change the intensity, change what's happening with that light. There's also spotlights. Say you have a flashlight and you want to be pointing it not in a bubble but in a cone, you can do that as well. And you can control the angle of your spotlight. And then, just like before, you can change the orientation, rotation of your spotlight. Make that spotlight do whatever you want. Does that make sense? So we can start to combine a few things together. Let's make this a spotlight. And we could add an animation to it. Add a curve to my spotlight on my transform rotation. What is my point? Let's get it back to where it was. Rotation. I think it was in the Z direction. Let's make it 7. No. There we go. So if we wanted to, we could have animated lights, animated spotlights moving around our scene, swinging back and forth. You could put the light on other things. Lots of interesting pieces you can add together. Okay, questions about lights and fog and skyboxes? Okay, last new thing to add in today are cameras. We have a camera in there. Whenever you open up a new project, you get a main camera. And you can see a camera preview here. You can see what's going on. We saw how to add a skybox to change the background. But you can have more cameras. Oftentimes it's helpful to have one camera on you, maybe one camera on the sky. You can have multiple scenes for multiple players, split screens, picture in picture, to show you some other stuff. This is how you would do that. I want to add a new camera. Okay, 2 cameras now. Let's see some of the differences between them. Main camera is sitting there. It has this tag, main camera, which is going to be important later on in our lives. But one thing we didn't look at before was the depth. Main camera is at depth -1, and this new camera that we added is at depth 0. When the scene gets rendered, cameras get painted onto the screen at their depth. So the first thing that's going to happen is the main camera, and then the second thing that's going to happen is this new camera. So our scene is going to look like this. Just our new camera. Let's play with that new camera a little bit. Where is it? There we go. Because this is the main camera, and this is our new camera. We see the new camera spot. Okay, so let's do some combination of the two between these 2 cameras, put them at the same depth, and now look at what's called the viewport rectangle. What part of the screen should this camera be projecting to, is what that's telling us. Start at spot 0, 0, and your width and height should be the complete screen. This is happening on both of them. So let's take main camera, start at 0, 0. The width should be 1, the height should be 0.5. And go to the other one, start at 0, 0.5. The width should be 1, and the height should be 0.5. 2 cameras, we can get a split screen, both of them being rendered with their different pieces. They're at different locations. They could be attached to different characters, different people. They can be seen in different ways. Question?
Why does the skybox look different on the top one? You see it's a little darker on the top one?
It does look darker on the top one. I think it's because I added a green color to that. Let's see if I can get it back to be white. Not exactly. It's at a slightly different orientation and spot. What were you saying?
Did you remove the skybox from the camera itself earlier?
I did. But no, I didn't. I thought I did. I must have done that while it was playing again. So it has 2 of those.
Oh.
That did fix it. It was putting a skybox on top of a skybox. That was weird. So, but on this second camera, I could give it where is it? Skybox. Back to my project. Each camera could have its own skybox. Each camera could show you different things, different backgrounds. Why? I don't know exactly, but you could. It's flexible that way. Okay, so this is how you would do a split screen. You would set them up. If you want to do a picture-in-picture, the depth matters now. There's one that's going to be drawn in the background, and then one that's going to be drawn on top of the other one. So, main camera is going to be in the background. This camera is going to be in the foreground. Let's reset it here. 0, 0, 1, 1. And then this camera is going to go 0.25, no, 0.7, 7. Let's try that out. There we go. Picture-in-picture kind of camera angles. So camera. But there's another one here